All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am no one, and in today's video, we are going to talk about the duping situation that happened last weekend. Now, I briefly mentioned it on my channel that there were some duping bugs found this last weekend, and some people were using them, and I didn't know how serious it was. Well, Intrepid responded last night with a message, and we got more information today, and I wanted to kind of talk about it and talk about the situation as a whole. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. This is the message that came out last night on Discord. It says, "Good evening. As many testers are aware, last weekend we introduced a bug into the game that allowed for several dupes to exist. As I have said in the past, our velocity to deploy fixes is a direct correlation to the possibility of introducing new bugs into the live version of Alpha 2, meaning the more they introduce shit, the more they break shit. If you guys wanted that simplified. We are working hard and fast to address the most pressing issues we identify with the help of our glorious testers each weekend. Unfortunately, some testers took advantage of this situation, attempting to exploit these bugs in an effort to dupe materials, gain gold, generate no treasury funds, and craft legendary equipment. Some testers did the right thing and reported the issues to us, but the damage was already done to our test environment. As a result of these bad actors, we have since wiped all duped materials, removed all legendary item IDs that were created with duped materials, reset treasury amounts for the offending nodes, initiated emergency elections in nodes where buildings were created with ill-gotten treasury and supplies, and I have deleted over 100 characters that were found to have participated in the exploitative activity numerous times. If you purchased or received items from these exploits, you will find those missing. If you gained gold via the exploits, your gold was reduced to 0. The testers who participated in this activity must understand that doing this harms the game, a game which you obviously care about. I have warned in the past, and it exists in our EULA and TOS, that cheating, RMT, and exploiting will be dealt with harshly. Everyone should be happy to know that as a company, we care for the integrity of our players' achievements, and as such, it is necessary for us to stay vigilant in the tools we create that help us monitor these issues. Let this serve as a warning, and take it from someone who they themselves has been banned from games. Ashes will be different, so don't partake. Instead, report it and play safe, my friends." That was the message that came out, and they did exactly what you'd expect them to do. They have said for a while that they're going to go after RMT, they're going to go after cheaters, they're going to go after exploiters. And so, when a bunch of people decided to try an RMT in alpha to see if they could get away with it to gain an advantage in an alpha, they got punished for it, which, bravo. It shows that their back-end tools are up and running. It looks like they were able to identify the duped materials, what the duped materials went into, whether they went into a bank, whether they went into a weapon, if the weapon was transported to another character or another account, it was found there as well. That's great. That's great for the overall longevity of the game. We'll talk a little bit more, but there's a message that came out this morning. This is what the letter looks like. For those of you guys that don't know, I did not get banned. I promise you, I was not exploiting. I only heard about the exploits. I am safe, okay? But I was shared this screenshot from somebody that was not so safe. And it says, "Alpha 2 tester, we've identified your account as one that has been heavily involved in taking advantage of duplication bugs during Alpha 2 testing. As a result, we have wiped character progress from your account. These accounts, some of these characters have over 100 hours on them. Just 100 hours of progress, getting weapons, getting leveling, just gone. This is a warning. If you participate in similar behavior in the future, it may impact your ability to participate in testing. An additional action may be taken against your Intrepid account. The purpose of Alpha 2 testing is to identify and report issues as we work to make Ashes of Creation better. Testers that abuse bugs destabilize our testing environment and make testing more challenging for other testers and Intrepid Studio staff. When you encounter a bug during testing, there are lots of ways you can report these to us. You can message a moderator on our official Discord server, a member of Intrepid Studio staff, submit a customer service ticket to report the bug, or use the in-game command bug. There is a difference between finding a bug and abusing bugs. The abuse of bugs and exploits is not the purpose of testing, and Intrepid Studios will be proactive about taking action against testers who engage in behavior like this. When you look at it from their point of view, they're already working on trying to stabilize the servers, trying to fix all the bugs that exist, and then they also have to go through and deal with people doing exploits. It's just an extra pain in the ass, but it's nice to see that their back-end dev tools fixed all this, or they were able to address them rather quickly. I think it's great overall for the long-term viability of the game. I've played games in the past where cheating and exploiting has run rampant, and you get to a point to where you feel like you have to cheat to compete. And it's a terrible feeling. It sucks because in zero-sum games like this, if somebody is cheating and they're not getting punished for it, are they really cheating? They're not. The development team isn't punishing them for doing this. Like they're gaining an advantage. I almost feel like I have to do the exact same thing to gain an advantage. And you have this situation to where the entire server of competitive people is running exploits to gain this advantage, and players that are not and they refuse to, they're going to leave and play somewhere else, and they're going to go to a different game. Now, throughout my channel, I have had lots of discussions with PvE players, and I know PvE players don't like PvP players, and they don't like how some people consider PvP players sociopaths, and I've seen all the discussions, right? And how PvP ruins the game and how PvE ruins the game. And we have all these discussions on, what really kills MMORPGs. Not detecting cheating and duplications and exploits like this kills games more than anything else, in my opinion. This is the game killer. And Intrepid being able to identify these and basically put a warning shot across the bow of exploiters like this to everybody. Hey, if you find one of these again, report them. Don't use them to your advantage, or you're going to lose your account is huge. This is huge for long-term viability of the game. It says, hey, you will be punished for this. It keeps people in line, and it keeps the game the way it should be. It's a competitive gaming environment, and more people will be more inclined to play. Back when I was playing New World, I would have people come to my channel and they would ask, hey, I played New World at launch. Is it worth coming back to? And I was like, yeah, I think it's pretty fun. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And then they would comment, they go, well, they never fixed the duping bug actually, so I guess I'm not coming back. Because on some of the servers, people were duplicating gold and items and materials, and they just had stockpiled so much, and New World never did anything about it. And so players that want to trade in the real game economy, they have to deal with people that can manipulate the market to gain an advantage, and they didn't want to do that. Even years later, when improvements were made for the game, they didn't want to go back to it because the overall competition was sullied in their eyes. It was just not a good look. And not just for that, also, if they're going to do it once, what happens if they find exploits again in the future? Are they going to also not punish them? And so players are stuck in that situation where, okay, this will never be one of those competitive types of games that I enjoy. I am never coming back. This severely impacts Ashes of Creation's bottom line going forward if they're not going to address cheaters and duplicators. And so I think this is great. I thought this was done pretty well. I did see a post on Discord. I thought this one was kind of funny. A message in cognitive dissonance here. It says, some of us are taking an L, but you guys in Intrepid are all welcome for us testing the most important thing of all. Well, two things. Number one, Intrepid's resolve to maintain integrity of the servers, and two, their ability to go in and delete duped items. This made me laugh. Like, yes, thank you for being so honorable to manipulate the game in order to give yourself an advantage. And because you got caught, you were doing it for the sake of the game itself. You weren't doing it for yourself. You weren't doing it for your guild. You weren't doing it for your node to get an advantage, to have way better weapons and have an advantage over your enemies. You did it for the sake of the game and the game's integrity. That is the most noble cause you can think of. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable cognitive dissonance here. I had to share it. I thought it was hilarious. It's so good. It's so good, man. So yeah, overall, I know how it goes on this stuff. People see other people exploiting and they feel like they have to compete. If one big guild starts cheating and duplicating, other big guilds are going to go, okay, well, they're not getting punished for it. I got to do it too. And all of a sudden you just have this snowball effect where all of a sudden an entire server is doing the exact same thing in order to compete. And yeah, it looks like that will not be tolerated on Ashes of Creation, which is good for all of us. It's good for all of us. So I don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Your character got wiped for good reason. You were violating terms of service, just like they said they were going to. You paid for an Alpha 2. If you've been following the progress of this game, they did exactly what they said they were going to do. They did exactly what they said they were going to do. And so it's like, going to a petting zoo and they have that sign up that says, hey, don't feed the goat will bite you. and you try to feed the goat and it bites you and you get upset about it. Like, guys, it's right there. It was labeled for you. It was right there. You could have just not done it. And so hopefully going forward, these players don't do this. I don't want to see people get banned, but you know, that's what you have to do when people are exploiting, and that's for the overall health of the game. It's better long term that people come into this game knowing that the game's integrity is kept intact, in my opinion. So I'm gonna end this video here. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below and I will do my best to answer it. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.